go. Yeah, we need to see that. Okay. We gotta see chats here. What's going on, people? Today's a live stream coming live from Toronto, Ontario. Let's just wait for some people to get in this chat and we're gonna get things started because the weekend is just around the corner and we got a lot of tech stuff to talk. All right, we're just waiting for some people to roll on in here. For the people that are in here, how's your day going? Is it a beautiful day for you guys wherever you live in the part of whatever the world is to you? General Wolf Club, I see you. What's up, buddy? Thank you for joining. Sabir, welcome to the club. Abdullah, what's going on, buddy? Hugo, thank you for joining. For Dax, you don't even say hello. You just get right into the questions. Should I buy a MacBook Pro 15 or a Razer Blade? Who does that? You got to start with the hello. How's it going? You don't just jump in here like you own the place. So tired. Well, I hope you get a good rest tonight because it is the weekend. So I hope you got some great things planned. All right, so I'm going to give it a few more minutes, let people jump in on here. I'm just going to get my trusty knife ready, which I don't have, apparently. I've got to be more prepared for these things. Okay, I don't have a knife, so I'm just going to be savage about this. Actually, I got a screw. This is going to be my knife today. What's up, Ali? Welcome. Whoa, what's lower? Okay, before we begin, two things. How's the audio? Do I sound okay? Am I too loud? Am I too low? And how is the video? Is it crystal clear for you guys? Michael, thank you for joining, buddy. I hope everything's going well in Italy. Buongiorno. Okay, guys, calm down. Questions in a minute. We're going to unbox this first, okay? We're going to unbox this first, and we're going to talk about the Oneplus 6. We're going to talk about the water test that I did. Then we're going to get into laptops, and then I'm going to answer all of your questions, okay? Audio is great. Sound is low. Sound is low, eh? Could be louder. Okay, hold on. Let me bump up the gain a little bit. All right, how about now? How's the audio now? 1, 2, 3 testing for you guys. Hey, Matthew, audio is pretty low. Okay, I just bumped it up. Let me know. Does it sound a bit louder now? How about now, Ken? Does it sound good? Crystal clear. It could be a little bit louder. Raise the audio, okay? How's the audio sound on your end? Good? Okay. Audio's good now, apparently. It just popped up. You should be okay. Much better? Excellent. Okay, let's get right into this. Let's unbox a brand new OnePlus 6. As you guys know, I did a water test on this OnePlus 6, and unfortunately, it's completely busted. It's too bad because it's such a beautiful smartphone. And Ash actually discovered, I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, I'll bring it up a little bit closer, but under here, the water damage actually made, oh, you can't see it. But anyways, there's like a little imprint going around the device over here and around here from the water damage where it seeped in. And you can kind of see like where the battery is and stuff, but it's hard to see on camera. Oh, there it is. You kind of see it a little bit here. I don't know if you guys can see that around here. You guys can see kind of like inside the little glass part right there. Anyways, so it's unfortunate. It didn't survive. I wasn't expecting it to. So please do not drop your OnePlus 6 in water. It's just not meant to go in water. But it's good to find out if it can take a little bit of splash resistance. If it can take a little bit of rain while you're walking down the street and talking to your mom. That's important. So we're going to put this aside. Actually, before I put this aside, do you guys want to see a drop test? Let me know right now. Drop test, yes or no. Since the phone's already broken, we might as well abuse it a little bit more. Cosmic Strawberry, I will answer that question later when we get to the laptop portion of this video. Please save your laptop questions till a bit later. Right now, we're just going to focus on this, and then we'll move on to the laptop portion after. Okay, so drop test or not? Do it. Okay, that's all I needed, one person. As long as one person says do it, we're doing it. So taking this off screen. So this phone right here is the same device. It's a OnePlus 6, but instead of being in a mirror black, we have it in midnight black, or otherwise known as matte black. It's still glass. It's not metal, but it's just using more of a different material on the back to make it look like metal. But the big difference is the base model of matte black comes with 8 GB of RAM compared to mirrored black, where it only comes with 6. Not a big deal because 6 is still like insanely huge for a smartphone, but it's just something to consider. There it is. Brand new OnePlus 6. So that if I ever do any future videos, you guys know I'm not using a broken OnePlus 6. Just the sound. All right. Actually, I kind of like the matte black better. Hold on a second. Where is it? You know what? Even though this is like full mirrored black, this one is not as slippery in the hand as the matte black device, which is kind of interesting. Okay, I'm going to set this up later because, quite frankly, there's no point doing it now. But of course, you have dash charging. Actually, something interesting to tell you that a certain individual named Ash Taylor brought to my attention. Apparently, OnePlus 6 is getting sued, or possibly getting sued, for using the dash charging name. Apparently, it coincides with something that Amazon is using, and Amazon is suing them. So he's just pulling up the article right here. It says, OnePlus could be hit with a patent infringement lawsuit over its face unlock feature. What does that have to do with dash charging? Okay, never mind. Dash charging's fine. I was misinformed. Hold on, apparently I wasn't. Okay, I'm getting very confused right now because someone's saying it was. Hold on, here it is. OnePlus may have come up with a new name for dash charge thanks to Amazon. So let's just stay on topic here. So yeah, so in the future, there might be a brand new name instead of dash charge. I don't know. What do you guys think they're going to call it if they end up having to change it? I have a feeling they're just going to call it, I don't know, lightning charge? No, it's not quick charge. It's dash charge right now, but Amazon is suing them for the name. Apparently it coincides with one of their products or services. So it'd be interesting to see what they change the name to. So I don't know, we'll see. Rapid charge? Okay, CJ Photography says rapid charge. I'm thinking lightning charge. We got flash charge. I don't know, it's gonna be some weird name. It's gonna be something cliche that we've all heard of. So I'm gonna put this to the side. And another key way that we found out, or Ash found out, that they weren't going to be using the name dash charge was during their presentation, they never mentioned dash charging whatsoever. They actually didn't, they just referred to it as fast charging or quick charging and stuff like that. So kind of interesting to say the least. All right, so I just created a video talking about the 5 best smartphones you can buy right now for mid-2018. I'm probably going to release it tomorrow or Sunday. But before I begin this, I want to know what you guys think the 5 best smartphones are right now. Thor charge. If they get if they put Thor charge, they're definitely going to get sued for it. Might as well set this up while I wait for your answers. I think turbocharge might have been Motorola's. Okay, so CD asks, because the OnePlus 6 is water resistant, can I bring it in the pool for 30 seconds? No. I've gotten this question about 15 times after I did the water resistance video. Please do not put it in any pool. Do not put it under the sink. Do not purposely put it in the bathtub because you want to. Do not dip it in any water. This is not a water resistance phone. It only can handle some splashes. So yeah, don't do that. Boom charge, I like that. Abby, I like that name. Boom charge would be pretty badass. Okay, so John Fitzgerald's top 5 picks are the OnePlus 6, Samsung Galaxy S9, iPhone 10, Pixel 2, and Honor 10. Actually kind of interested seeing both Honor and OnePlus 6 on that same list. I was kind of expecting maybe one or the other, but kind of interesting to see both on there. Yeah, I agree with you, Lassie. Best overall packaging or package is the S9 Plus in terms of hardware features. But again, you're paying a significant amount of more money to get all those features. I mean, if you want all the hardware features in a smartphone, the Galaxy S9 is basically the device to get. So that's true for that. What's up, Arpan? How many people in the chat so far?
151 watching.
Okay. Yeah, so Rahul brings up LG G7. So a lot of you are probably, and I haven't gotten this question before, is, Matt, why haven't you reviewed the G7 yet? And to be quite honest, I haven't gotten it. I mean, LG Canada is very slow to get out review units. Every single year we go through the same steps. They get a bunch of devices in, and by the time they send it out to reviewers, the phone no longer is worth reviewing. They did this last year. They did it the year before. It's just the way LG Canada works. In fact, last year, in order for me to review the G6, I had to get it through the United States because LG Canada just did not get them out on time, which is pretty crazy because I've seen how many units they have. They have tons. So if you're looking for a G7 review, I'm probably not going to review it at this point. I don't think it's worth it. And based on the reviews so far about the phone, it doesn't look like it's anything special. So I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know. What do you guys think? If you guys really want me to still review it, I'll do it. But quite frankly, it's a phone that really doesn't interest me anymore. Huawei P20 Pro, what about it? It's a great phone. Thank you, Fredix. You're the first person besides my mom to say that I have the sleekest beard in the business. But trust me, it's really bad. It's the worst beard in the business. So I got the Huawei P20 Pro here. I've actually been waiting for this device to get updated for quite some time. So my biggest complaint with the P20 Pro was the fact that there was a few software issues when I was using it. So like certain notifications weren't coming in. And when I was using Instagram, a lot of that Instagram header was cut off because of the notch. But that's been fixed now, so the experience is a lot more enjoyable. The other thing with the P20 Pro is the camera. I find with the camera, you have to be very specific on how you take a photo to get great results. Whereas on the regular P20, it just works really well on auto. You always get a great photo. It's very consistent. So I'm hoping that's changed with the P20 Pro with the latest update, which I actually just updated yesterday. So I'm gonna actually might do a revisit on this phone very soon because when I first got it, there was a lot of missing updates that need to be fixed. Amandio asks, Helios 300 video coming soon. So yes, I will be getting my hands on it, hopefully the gold and white edition. And just for you out there who've been asking me about that laptop, it's a special edition color. So you're only gonna be able to buy it from basically, I think, June until September, and then they're taking the gold and white edition off the market, but you can still go ahead and buy the black and white edition, or sorry, black and red edition. Abby asks, can we have a camera test between the P20 Pro and OnePlus 6? Honestly, there's no point. The P20 Pro obviously has a better camera. The OnePlus 6 does a good job overall for its price point, but it just doesn't compare to the flagship smartphones that are currently on the market. It's close, but there's still a bit of a gap. So I don't think there's much of a point at this point in time. I've already compared it to the Galaxy S9 Plus, and they both did very well in the daylight. But when it came to nighttime photography, the Galaxy S9 Plus still did a better job, and as expected. But here's the thing. Compared to every previous OnePlus device, that gap between the capabilities and the qualities of cameras on smartphones has kind of diminished. Like, it's very close now. So I'm pretty impressed for the $520 price point. Okay, so good. Razer Blade 15 thoughts. Okay, we're gonna get into laptops in 1 second. I just want to talk about phones for 2 more minutes. So I want to go back to my video for 1 second. So the top 5 smartphones that I'm releasing for 6 months later is going to be flagship phones only. If you guys like the video, let me know in the comments below, and I'll produce one for maybe a budget, the budget sector, or even the mid-range sector, and I'll do a new video about what phones I personally recommend to people that are on a tighter budget. But the one thing that I found about all the flagship phones that are coming out in 2018, it's really hard to get a poor experience. Like, even the G7, which I don't care to review at this point, is still a good phone. Like, you got a good camera, it's fast, good, decent battery life, etc. It doesn't matter what phone you buy in 2018, you're pretty much gonna get a good experience. We're at the point right now, it comes down to little things. Like, you buy a Samsung device because you want the best hardware features. You want all the hardware features in a design that's beautiful. You want the best display. You buy an iPhone because you want consistency. You know, the app ecosystem is beautiful. Some apps still work better than on its Android counterparts. And even though it's really expensive, if you own a lot of Mac products, it's gonna work well with all of them. You buy a OnePlus device because you wanna save some money. You don't care to have the best camera, or you don't care to have wireless charging or dual speakers, but still have a great user experience overall. Or you buy the Huawei P20 Pro because you want insane battery life or one of the best camera systems you can get today on the market. So all these differences are very small between all these devices. It really comes down to, like, what matters to you the most. I can say for myself, the things that matter to me the most are displays. That's why I gravitate between the iPhone X a lot and the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, because those OLED displays, to me, are gorgeous to look at.
So Rahul's like flagship 2017 versus mid-range of 2018s. That'd be a good one.
That would be, yeah, that would be a good one. There's tons of great flagship phones from 2017 that I think are still worth it today. The Pixel's a great example. Even the OnePlus 5T, still a great smartphone. Galaxy S8, I probably wouldn't recommend now. The Galaxy Note 8, fantastic smartphone, just battery life could be better. But yeah, that could be a great segment. I'm gonna write that down on the list.
Joe says, would you really be able to see that the OP6 display is not QHD if OnePlus didn't say it? Honestly.
Yes, 110% yes. And this is just me. Like I said before, display is like probably the #1 most important feature to me, probably up there with camera. I have to have the best display. It's just the way I am. And I can tell the difference between the OP6 and pretty much any other display on the market. One great example is the Sony Xperia XZ2. So this is also using a full HD display, just like the OnePlus 6. But the difference is that the OnePlus 6 uses an AMOLED pentile display. And if that's on a smaller screen, it's okay. You're not going to see too much fuzziness. You're not going to see any individual pixels. But because it's 6.28 inches, you're starting to see those pixels a little bit more. Now, is it a deal breaker? Definitely not. But for someone like me who has to have like the perfect display, I would still gravitate towards the XZ2 instead because it's using an IPS panel and you don't have that pentile matrix. I hope that kind of answers your questions. I know it's being like a complete display snob, but I just value a great display.
Woodrow asks, thoughts on the Moto E4 Plus? Is it worth buying in 2018?
Honestly, I have not reviewed the Moto E4 Plus. I don't even think it's coming to Canada, nor have I received a review in it. I'd honestly have to look it up and see the specs for it, so I really can't answer that question. But I will look it up after this video, and if you shoot me an email on Facebook, I'll take a look at it and answer your questions. I hope that helps.
What's your favorite brand for laptops and phones, etc.?
Oh man, that's a good question. Okay, so
Joe says thanks a lot, by the way.
You're welcome, Joe. So for phones, oh man, it's tough because like when you're a tech reviewer, you get to play with all these devices. So like one day you're using this because it has this great feature, or another day you're using this brand because it has that great feature. But like I said, or like I'm gonna say in my upcoming video, my favorite brands are probably gonna be for phones, the Galaxy or Samsung, and probably still the iPhone. I mean, there's a lot of reasons I use either or device because of certain features. Now, the reason why you're probably wondering why it's not the Pixel, for a lot of you, Ash is like waving it at me angrily. I love the Pixel. I love the camera, but I also like perfect hardware. And I think these two phone companies do a better job at it. I think with the Pixel 3, we're gonna see a shift or a big change, but I just like great hardware. The only reason for me to use a Pixel right now is because of the software updates, Android P, and because of that awesome camera. Those are the three basic things of the Pixel that I really, really enjoy. And even in the beginning of the year, or sorry, the end of the year when it came out, my two main devices were the Pixel 3 and the Galaxy Note 8 for a few months until the iPhone 10 came out.
Ruan asks, can you do a drop test for the OnePlus 6?
Yes, I plan to do that. I already answered that earlier. We're actually going to be working on that tonight. So you should probably see that video maybe Monday or maybe Sunday, depending on which video I release first, the best smartphones or the drop test. So hit that notification bell so you get that video notification.
Lots of people asking about the Vivo Apex. What are your thoughts?
So my thoughts on the Vivo Apex, it's a really cool concept. I think the whole fingerprint scanner in the display is great. I think it's the future. I just think on the Vivo Apex it's a tad slow, but I think by the time Samsung incorporates it, or hopefully Apple incorporates it, it's gonna be nice and quick, and it'll be a valuable option instead of using Face ID on your iPhone, or hopefully more secure iris scanning technologies on the Samsung device. I just want them to be a little bit quicker on the Samsung phone. It's a little bit slow when you do face unlock.
Akshay is asking, should I wait for the 6T?
Depends. What phone do you have? Let me know what phone you have, and I'll tell you if you should wait for it or not. It just depends on your situation, right? If you're using a phone from 5 years ago, then buy the OnePlus 6. The difference between the 6 and the 6T are going to be very minimal. But if your phone you're using right now is fine, you might as well wait for the 6T.
What do you think of Xiaomi phones, especially the upcoming?
Hold on, we have like a troll in the comments. Some guy named Danny Widget? Danny the Widget. He says, stop doing so good on YouTube. Let me get a few views. Who is this guy? Have you heard of this guy?
I have no idea who he is.
Oh, man. I'm kidding. What's up, Danny? Thank you for stopping by, man. I appreciate you being in here. Everyone say hello to Danny. Go harass him on Twitter. Who did your lighting setup, Ash or you? Ash. If I did my lighting setup, there would be like Home Depot lights. I'd have like a chandelier hanging from the top, and it would just be like a flashlight going directly in my face. It'd be an awful experience.
Tell John Fitzgerald to stop watching EastEnders.
Ash says stop watching EastEnders to John Fitzgerald. Oh, what do you do to come so far with the channel? I don't know. My channel is not that big yet, to be honest with you. I have come quite a ways. Lately, I've been growing a little bit faster, but it's probably temporary because my channel goes up and down like this. But man, it's just hard work. Just keep making videos as much as you can. Whatever comes to your mind, whatever you think is going to be fun, or that you think you can offer some value or entertainment to the community, make it. You know, just be yourself and make it. Like if you go back to one of my viewers posted my first video that I ever made. Please don't go look at it. It is so bad that it's embarrassing. Like it's me in a basement with poor lighting. The audio is hissing. Like you can hear this like terrible hissing noise. I look like a pervert and it's just bad. So yeah, there's a learning curve. And I mean like everyone you meet, like I've met tons of people on YouTube. You learn a little bit from every person you meet. I mean, I've learned a lot from Ash. He's been a huge help. He loves this. He's like smiling in the corner right now. He's like, yeah, say more, say more. But I've learned a lot. So, I mean, you learn these little techniques and then you kind of learn how to, he's helped me bring out more of me onto camera as opposed to like your typical tech review. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things that most people struggle with in the tech community is trying to be yourself. You know, like, everyone always tries to conform to a specific way to do a video. We have to be like this. We have to talk in a monotone voice or a broadcast voice about the product. It's okay to be a little bit funny. It's okay to maybe accidentally say something you shouldn't every once in a while because it's part of your thought process. People want to see authenticity, so if you can do that, I think your channel will grow faster.
Someone else, you can review the new Dell XPS.
Okay. Yes, you know what? Let's just jump into laptops. How long is the stream going on for?
I don't know.
Okay. So laptops, gaming laptops. This is a very exciting year for gaming laptops. Last year, we saw the big switch to a couple of things. We saw a big switch to a thinner design. We saw a switch from regular laptop GPUs like a GTX 1080 to Max Q 1080s. So what that did was it allowed us to have lower thermals in our laptops, allowing us to reduce the size of those laptops, making them a little bit more portable or easier to take on the road. Now the problem was at the end of the year, we got some funky designs. We got like the Acer Triton 700, which was very exciting, but it had a weird design. The top of the deck was all glass. It was used as a mouse pad. The keyboard was on the bottom. It just wasn't a very ergonomical keyboard to type on. Same with the Asus Zephyrus. Same sort of idea. The top was basically used to hold all the cooling technology. The bottom, you had the keyboard. On the right side, you had a trackpad, which was terrible for left-handed people myself. This year, we're seeing the refinement. We're starting to see great laptops in a thin and portable package. Now, this is not the new Dell XPS, so don't get too excited. But
Are you going to get it, though?
yes, hopefully one day I will get it. If not, I'll buy it myself and return it because I'm a badass, and I'll review it for you guys. But for example, this is a Dell this is a Dell Precision 5520. So same design as the Dell XPS 15. This is what you're going to see a lot of this year. This form factor of 15-inch laptops that are powerful enough to game with. You're going to have a thin form factor, so it's easy to carry around, probably around 4 to 5 pounds, which is not super duper light like an Ultrabook, but still light enough that you're okay with it because you're gonna have this form factor that's powerful enough to do things like game on, edit video, maybe do AutoCAD, 3D work, which is really important for a lot of business professionals, students, or people who travel a lot. And that's a big deal. Now you pair this with 6-core processors, the 8750, the i9 8950. These are 6-core processors in a laptop. That's absolutely insane. Last year we were dealing with 4-core processors, which were great, but like when you're editing video, the more cores, the better. Same with AutoCAD, same with 3D work. Those render times are gonna be a lot quicker, especially now that Premiere's updated their technology to allow you to use your internal GPU. So we're gonna see a big movement on thin and portable gaming laptops. And we're already starting to see that with the Razer Blade 15. I think it's a very exciting product. It reminds me of the Dell XPS 15, and I have a feeling it's going to be a great device. Now, again, the big issue with all these laptops, and this was the same last year, comes down to heat. How well is it going to be cooled? Are we going to still see those problems with laptops overheating? As much as I love the Dell XPS 15, there were times when you're editing video or playing games, it would just thermal throttle and completely slow down the experience. So if that gets fixed, we're Gucci. I can't believe I just said Gucci. Who says that? Jesus. I would just probably leave right now if I was you.
Should I get the Acer Helios 300 or the Lenovo with a 1060? I want to play PUBG and record and maybe stream.
Okay, so if you're recording and streaming at the same time, you're definitely gonna want one with the new 6-core CPUs. I don't think Lenovo's released their 6-core gaming laptops yet, so basically one of your options is the Acer Helios 300, the updated model. You're gonna get an i7 8850, which is the 6-core processor, paired with a GTX 1060. That starts at $1099, and I think it's a great option for people who want a gaming laptop at more of a budget price. And I say budget because like decent gaming laptops cost around $1,000. If you want to wait for the Lenovo, you can. They'll probably update the Y920 or the 720 in the near future. But I think the Helios 300 is still probably one of the better budget gaming laptops you can buy right now. Or even the G7. The G7 looks to be pretty good as well. I haven't reviewed it yet, but I will get my hands on it at some point.
Frydax says, should I buy the MacBook Pro 15 or the Razer Blade 15? And Danny says, Carl Conrad's rubbing off on you because of the Gucci thing.
Oh, man. Yeah, he is rubbing off on me. I just need the muscles. If I had the muscles, I could say Gucci as much as I want. XPS 15 or Razer Blade?
Razer Blade 15 or MacBook Pro 15.
Okay. I mean, those are two different beasts. I mean, what are you doing? I mean, that's the big question. Is this for gaming or is this for work? And if it's for work, what kind of stuff are you doing for work? That's the big question. Like, if you buy a MacBook Pro 15, forget gaming. It's just not happening because Mac OS kind of prevents you from doing that unless you run boot camp and you boot into Windows and you do it that way. You can do it as well, but you're not going to get the graphical performance that you would get on a Razer Blade 15 since it has that GTX 1060 and I believe 1070 options.
Can you suggest a good gaming mouse that would go with the gaming laptops like Alienware?
Okay, so I'm not like a super duper expert when it comes to gaming mice, but I've reviewed a bunch. I personally like the Rival series if you want something that's a little bit more affordable and budget. I also like this one by Acer. It's called the Acer Cestus. This one kind of surprised me because usually like companies like Acer or HP, when they make gaming mice, they're usually not that great. But this one is really nice. It feels great in the hand. It has these shark fins, so your hands feel nice and comfortable when you hold the mouse. And it's a good size, so it's still fairly portable. It's light. You can change the Omron switches if that's something, if you're into like really hardcore gaming. So that's a good option. I personally use wireless gaming mice when I'm on the road, so I either use the Razer Atheros, sometimes I'll use the Lancehead. But at home, I use the Logitech G900, and at the studio, I use the Rival or the Sensei Raw. Those are my like go-to gaming mice. What's the best phone 2018, please? That's a very generalized question. I have a video coming out on that, so stay tuned. It'll be out either tomorrow or Sunday. It depends on you. Like for me, my go-tos right now are the iPhone 10 and the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. Mostly the S9 Plus when I'm here in Toronto. When I travel, I only take the iPhone 10 with me just because it's smaller. There's one specific app that I use that I can't get on Android, and it's big enough at 5.8 inches. So it depends on your use cases. Best camera, and you're an enthusiast, get the P20 Pro. If you want the best auto camera that takes great auto HDR, get the Pixel. So it really comes down to what you want.
Denisa asks, convertible or not?
And
it's a laptop, not a car.
Yeah, well, if it's a car, no, I'm just joking. So if you're doing a convertible laptop, gaming convertible or just a regular convertible?
Didn't say.
Okay, so I generally am not in love with convertibles, just because the hinge is a little bit looser, which is normal for convertibles. And when you have it in laptop mode, there's a little bit more wobble to it. Unless you absolutely have to sketch, I would probably get a regular clamshell laptop. I know that's kind of hypocritical because I mostly use a Surface Book 10, which is not like 100% convertible, but if you must have a convertible and you're on a budget, the Yoga 730 is not a bad option. If you want something with a little more pep to it, let's say a GTX 1050, the Acer Spin Nitro 15 convertible is not a bad option. Just note that it has a slightly little bit of thermal issues, so you can't push it too hard. If you want something that's a little bit more upscale and really good, HP Spectre X360. I actually like that laptop a lot, especially the new one. You can get it paired with the Intel AMD Ryzen CPU and GPU together. That's actually not a bad laptop. I still got to review that, so stay tuned for that.
What's the trend of smartphones in 2018 for you?
What's the trend of smartphones in 2018 for you?
Maybe
Just
let's do like, what's your favorite trend?
oh, what's my favorite trend? It's the notch. I love the no, I don't. I hate the notch. That's my least favorite trend. Displays. I think we're getting thinner displays. I like that. I just don't like how they're getting it, but I think this is just a period we have to go to until we can get like a completely notchless experience. So I kind of like that trend of getting bigger displays, smaller form factor, while maintaining good battery life. It's kind of funny, even though phones are kind of getting skinnier and thinner, the battery life has been pretty good. I mean, 2 years ago, we were kind of complaining about battery life a lot because phones were getting smaller and thinner to hold in the hand. Now we're at the point where phones are pretty thin, but battery life is staying around that day to a day and a half, sometimes 2 days of use, depending on the smartphone you use. So definitely more bezel, definitely less bezels and less notch.
Should I get the XPS 13 or 15 if my budget is 1,200?
Well, to be honest, I don't think you're going to be able to afford a good XPS 15. And if you're comparing the 13 or 15, the only reason to get the 15 is because you need that dedicated GPU for, let's say, light gaming, light work, depending on what type of work you do. If you edit video or, I don't know, Photoshop, then you're going to want to lean towards the XPS 15. But this is just for school. Carrying around, you want something light and portable. I think the XPS 13 is a great option. Also, take a look at the Huawei MateBook X Pro. That's probably, you know what, to be honest with you, out of all the products that Huawei released this year, the MateBook X Pro is hands down my favorite. I don't know why I'm holding this. This is not a MateBook X Pro. But anyways, it's hands down my favorite product they released this year. Kind of took me by surprise. It's such a good laptop, super bright display, over 450 to 500 nits of brightness, super thin, has an MX150 inside. So for those of you unfamiliar, it's very comparable to a GT 1030. So you have a little bit of graphical performance to do very light gaming and let's say some Photoshop or design work.
Sean asks, is there anything you want to see on the BlackBerry Key 2?
So BlackBerry's been a little kind of behind everybody when it comes to their smartphones. I mean, they focus on that beautiful keyboard on the Key 2, which there's still a niche for, surprisingly. I just want to see the BlackBerry Key 2 have all the same hardware features as some of the other flagship phones, but also maintain the keyboard for the audience that still prefers it. And again, this is a very small audience. And funny enough, that audience is significantly bigger in Canada than it is in the United States. And that's only because BlackBerry started here. And there's a lot of diehard fans out there that still are hanging on to their BlackBerry devices. So if BlackBerry can find a way to get the exact same features like great camera, great display, thinner form factor, good battery life, all with a keyboard, then I think they have a hit for the audience they're targeting it towards.
Dennis asks, I want to get a laptop at least over 1,000. What do you recommend as a good laptop, or should I say a good gaming laptop?
So this is a gaming laptop for over $1,000. So is it just over $1,000, or are you going all the way up to like money doesn't matter? If it's around $1,000, basically your options are the Acer Helios 300, the Dell G7, the Lenovo Y520, the HP Omen 15. Those are going to be around the $1,000 price point. The only ones that have the new CPUs right now that are on the market is basically the Helios 300 and the Dell G7. So I'd probably look at one of those two. You can probably get the Dell Inspiron for a little bit cheaper because I think you can get it with a 1050 Ti. But if you want that extra graphic performance and you can afford to pay that extra $100 or so, get the Helios 300 because you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck.
Sabi asks, do you swipe or do you type the normal way?
Do I swipe or type on the way? On what?
Like swipe, you know, like.
Oh, I type. I'm a typer, man. Typer all the way. I used to swipe, then I started to type. I just prefer typing.
Tell JD to write his comment again.
JD, write your comment again. I didn't see it. Sorry, buddy.
Iwaja asks, is it a good time to buy a graphics card?
Okay, so as you, I don't know. Okay, so I'm just gonna recap this for a lot of people who don't know. There was really a point in time where buying a graphics card was very, very expensive due to crypto mining. That is starting to go down now, so they're becoming a little bit more affordable again. So it is a better time to buy a graphics card. But if you are, okay, so let me say it like this. It's a better time now to buy a graphics card than it was a few months ago. They're a lot more affordable now, and you can justify buying one. But if you're buying it for a brand new PC that you're building, consider maybe buying a pre-built as well, because these manufacturers who pre-build these PCs get component deals and are able to lower the price per component because they're building it in quantities. So check out how much a pre-built costs first, then compare it to the PC build you're creating with that graphics card. Sometimes it might be a little bit cheaper, but overall, graphics cards have come down a little bit and are easier to justify now than they were 3 months ago. I hope that helps.
Beastly Beast asks, how does the Acer Predator 17 compare to its competition? He needs a good gaming laptop because of how much he travels. So essentially, it's the best gaming laptop for traveling.
Okay, so the Acer Predator 17, I do not recommend for traveling. That thing is huge. If you want something for traveling, you should really stick to something like the Razer Blade 15, the Razer Blade 15, the Dell, even the Dell G7 is a little too big. So something with a thin and portable form factor.
What about like the Zephyrus?
The Zephyrus, yes, sorry, the Zephyrus is a good option. The new one that came out, that's a good laptop to travel with. MSI have some 6-core options right now. The GS, what is it? I haven't reviewed it, but I think it's the GS63 VR. I forget their naming scheme, but they also have a 6-core laptop that's fairly thin, just like the Razer Blade that you can check out as well. HP is still waiting to release theirs. Dell doesn't really have super thin gaming laptops. You're pretty much stuck with like the XPS 15. But yeah, Razer Blade 15, MSI is a good option. And of course, what was the last one I said? And did I say Asus? I think I said Asus. Asus, Razer Blade, MSI. Those 3 companies have thin portable gaming laptops with some pretty good graphical prowess.
Do you think Microsoft could launch again the Windows Phone?
You know what? I miss Windows Phone. I mean, I know it didn't take off because it didn't get the apps for it to take off, but I really liked the operating system on the device. It was super smooth. The way it worked was very intuitive. It's just unfortunate that no app development was present for it. Do I think they're going to release it again? No, I don't think so. I just think there's no point. They would have to invest a lot of money, and they're so behind everyone right now that I just don't think it would ever take off. So I don't see Windows Phone ever coming back, unfortunately. Hello, Tom.
Iwaja asks, when the new Voltec cards come out, will the 1060 6GB be cheaper?
Yeah, I mean, usually that's how it works. Like when the new cards come out, the older cards get a slight price drop until inventory clears, and if inventory doesn't clear, then they'll continue dropping the price until all the inventory is cleared. And then until the new standard comes basically until people only buy the new standard. So yeah, there could be a price drop, but I don't think it's going to be like a significant price drop at first. It's just going to take time, just like any other new product on the market. Just like when a new iPhone's released, the older iPhones get dropped in price a little bit to maintain people buying them, because not everyone can afford the new Voltec GPUs anyways.
A couple of questions about Xiaomi. Rahul asks, why don't you review them? Is it hard to import or what? And then Michael asks, the Xiaomi Mi Gaming, is it too risky?
Okay.
And Carl says hi.
What's up, Carl? So Xiaomi Mi Gaming. The problem with Xiaomi laptops, I have the Xiaomi Mi notebook in the other room. The problem with Xiaomi notebooks is the fact that if it breaks, you're pretty much screwed when it comes to getting it fixed. I mean, there's pretty much no support here in North America. So I don't suggest buying a Xiaomi Mi notebook if you must have a warranty or if something breaks. Like if you're buying one, it's because you're going to take the risk, you want to save a little bit of money, and you're confident that you're not going to have any problems. So if you're in this part of the world, that's the risk you're going to have to take. Now, why don't I review Xiaomi phones? Sometimes I get them, sometimes I don't. I don't have a contact here in North America for Xiaomi. The way I get them is through third-party sites, and usually when I get them, it's usually significantly after they've been released. So it's usually by that time, it's just not worth reviewing. I have reviewed the Xiaomi Mi 6. I've reviewed the last year's Mi Mix 2. But besides that, not many more Xiaomi phones I've touched.
Sean Vega Velez asks, would it be a good idea for Google to purchase Essential?
It's kind of sad that Essential's going bankrupt. It really is. We're having this discussion with Ash earlier because he feels that the Essential Phone 2 would have been like perfect. And if they could only some way find the money to stay around a little bit longer, it would have been a hit phone. I personally don't think so. Yes, maybe hardware-wise would have been perfect, but they just don't have the money to market that device. I mean, it's really hard to launch a smartphone now. It's not like 5 years ago where you had kind of an opportunity. If Google bought Essential Phone, that'd be great, but I don't think they will. I don't think they need to. I mean, they already invested so much money in HTC engineers that buying the Essential would be kind of counterintuitive.
Abdullah wants to ask if you have any thoughts on the Lucid Air electric car.
No, honestly, I don't. I haven't been, I mean, I've watched a few videos on it. I mean, my main focus has been on the Tesla. I'm not a huge car aficionado, so like I'm not crazy into cars. Someone else who's into cars will probably better answer that question for you, but I think it looks cool. All I can say is the more competition, the better. Ben asks, hello, Matthew. I'd like to know what's the battery life of the Oneplus 6. I've been getting a full days of use. It's nothing spectacular. I'm just making it through the entire day. It's not as good as, let's say, the Huawei P20 Pro or some of the other phones I've used. It's good, but it's not great. But, I mean, as long as you carry your dash charger around with you, you'll be fine. But yeah, 1 day's use, no problem.
Ayush asks, do you think the notch will exist in 2019 flagships, or every sensor will be under the screen and we'll see 100% screen to body ratio?
So one person asks basically about notches in 2019. Agush. So I think it's gonna take a little bit longer than that for the notch to disappear. I'm thinking if we're just starting notches now, I would say 2020, maybe 2021, we'll see no notches with every single piece of hardware under the display, along with under the display fingerprint scanners. So a few more years, I think. It'll be until that happens. Tom, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I can now feed my kids. You're the best. No, seriously, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Shout out to Tom, everybody.
If you have an S8 Plus, would it be worth upgrading to the OnePlus 6? This is a question from Madhur.
No, don't upgrade to the OnePlus 6 if you're using the S8 Plus. I'd probably hang on to it for another year. It's not worth it. Your phone's still good. You're not going to see a huge benefit except for speed. If you upgrade to the OnePlus 6, camera's not going to make big of a difference. You still have a better display on your S8 Plus than the OnePlus 6. So don't think it's worth upgrading unless you find the phone a little bit too slow or sluggish.
What do you think about the Gigabyte Aero 15X laptop?
I think it's a great laptop, but I haven't reviewed it yet. I've been trying to get a hold of it from Gigabyte, but they're not responding. So I think all of you should go on Twitter right now and harass them and tell them to send me one so I can review it for you guys.
Just have a conversation into something else.
Okay, so one person asks which lens Ash used for making low light shots. That's very general. I mean, it's pretty much whatever lens we have in the studio. So it can be anything from 24 to 70 Tamron lens he has. It could be basically the Sigma 18 to 35, which has good low light because it has a very high aperture. It really depends what we're using. But it's basically one of those two.
QH asks, which is better, OLED or AMOLED?
So QH, they're pretty much the exact same technology. It's just Samsung calls...
Not QH, OLED versus AMOLED.
Which is better, OLED or AMOLED? Okay, so OLED and AMOLED are pretty much the exact same thing. AMOLED is just a marketing term used for OLED by Samsung, but on paper, they're both OLED type panels. They both have organic emitting diodes. They both have pixels that turn on and off. They both provide the same deep blacks. So it's just another name for OLED. There's really no difference.
How do you feel about OnePlus compared to the HTC U12 Plus, not taking price into consideration?
So again, I mean, you're comparing a phone that's $520 compared to a smartphone, which is significantly more. I haven't used the HTC U12 Plus. I probably won't, just because HTC no longer has a presence here in Canada. But again, it comes down to the price. Do you want a better camera? Do you want a better design? Do you want a better display? Buy the HTC U12 Plus if you want to spend more money to get those things. So,
without considering price, though.
oh, HTC U12 is going to be a better phone for sure.
Samuel's going into cybersecurity. He wants to know what kind of computer should he buy because he wants to play as well.
Okay, so I'm assuming you want a game. If you're going to cybersecurity, I mean, I could suggest something like the Dell Precision 5520. Well, this is last year's model, so the newer ones have the 6-core processors and an upgraded Quadro graphics card. You do get a lot more security features for the enterprise environment. So you get more like security, like actual hardware security chips inside of the laptop to make sure that there's no tampering. There are more enterprise-grade features that will benefit you, but to be quite honest, I'd probably still just grab a regular XPS 15 or a Razer Blade 15 because those laptops have actual NVIDIA GTX GeForce GPUs will give you a lot more graphical power to game on. So yeah, I mean, it depends on where you work. If you're getting cybersecurity anyways, and you're working for a company, they're probably going to be issuing a laptop regardless, and you're not going to be allowed to use the laptop that you buy for work-related tasks. They're going to want you to use the device that they give you.
Swatantra asks, are you going to do a drop test for OnePlus?
Yeah, man, of course. I mean, the phone's broken, not this one. This is a brand new one, but I don't even know where it is anymore. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the phone is still in good condition. There's no dents or scratches. Well, a couple scratches, but overall, it's dead. So I might as well do a drop test and let you guys know how this holds up on day-to-day use with accidental drops from reasonable distances.
Wakil asks, sir, which laptop is the best for video editing in the $500 range?
Oh, man. $500 range, you're not going to find much for video editing. You're going to have to buy something used from a couple of years ago, to be quite honest. Maybe if you can buy an older gaming laptop with like a 960 inside, you're not going to find that much for $500. Like the $500 range is for like entry-level laptops with like no dedicated GPU or a really good Chromebook. So yeah, you're probably going to have to buy used if you want something for video editing or gaming at that price point.
Rahul asks, is it really necessary for a separate gaming smartphone section when all flagships can pretty much run high-end games?
That's an interesting question because we're seeing we've always been seeing a huge shift to mobile gaming, but we're starting to see some of the big gaming titles that we play on desktop PC or on console on our smartphones, and that goes towards things like PUBG and Fortnite. Technically, yes, you're correct. We don't need a separate phone for it, but what if you could have a phone that offers every single feature a gamer would want? And that's kind of what Razer's doing with their device. They're giving you amazing external speakers, really great battery life, 120 hertz, or is it 120 hertz? I think it's 120 hertz display, which is important for gamers. So yeah, technically you don't need it, but if you want like the ultimate experience, you're gonna buy a gaming phone. Same idea with laptops. You buy an Ultrabook because you want something light and portable. You buy something like this if you want something that's fairly portable with a little bit of graphical power, or you buy a gaming laptop to game on. Technically, I could use a gaming laptop to edit video because it's powerful enough, but am I gonna buy a gaming laptop for traveling? No, because I want something thin and light. Same concept for mobile phones and gaming phones.
Favorite laptop of 2018 so far?
So favorite laptop of 2018 so far. Okay, I haven't reviewed the Razer Blade 15, but I think based on what I see, so far that's my favorite. I do like the new Dell XPS 15, but it's only using a GTX 1050 Ti. So if I had to choose right now, today, without reviewing it, it would be the Razer Blade 15. That would be my favorite right now.
Thoughts on Dell G series?
So the G series has been renamed from the Inspiron 7000 from last year. I think it's a great update to last year's model. You're kind of getting the same design with new colors, but I think, again, it's going to be a great gaming laptop for the price. If it starts at $900 like it did last year, it's a great buy. You're going to get that GTX 1050 Ti. It's going to get you going for gaming. Paired with 6 cores, you can stream and game at the same time. So, yeah, I think it's great for everybody.
Monsef Ben asks, should he install the Android P beta on his OnePlus 6 or keep Android Oreo?
I am going to use Android Oreo just for a little bit. I want to review the device properly just because I didn't spend too much time with it. But yeah.
He's for himself.
Oh, for yourself. Sorry. Should you? Honestly, I would stick with Android Oreo for now, just because if you install Android P as a beta, you're going to be stuck with it for a while, and there's probably going to be a few bugs here and there. So hang on to it for a while, see how other people in the community who've installed on their device first react to it. If it seems pretty solid, then yeah, go for it. Why not? Just be prepared to back up your information just in case anything goes wrong. Grimads Tudor, thank you so much. I really appreciate. Shout out to Grimads, you're the man. I hope I pronounced your name right and didn't butcher it because I'm good at doing that. He says, I want to see a comparison between the Anker Sounds Buds and the OnePlus new wireless bullets. The wireless bullets. Okay, so I have the box here. DJ, thank you, DJ. I have the box right here. The buds are at home. I've been using them. They're good for the price. I'm going to incorporate it into a video. I don't know if I'm going to compare it to the Anker Sounds Buds, but if I incorporate this one into a video, I'll mention it just for you to give you an idea which one I like better. But yeah, for 70 bucks, they're pretty good. There's a few things I don't like about it, and maybe I'll do something small on it so you guys can get my opinion.
OnePlus 6 versus Xiaomi Mi 8. Any thoughts?
Honestly, I kind of...
If not, better one, Sony XZ2 versus OnePlus 6.
Okay, that's a good question. Actually, well, it's pretty straightforward. So, I have here the OnePlus 6 and the Sony Xperia XZ2. Overall, if I can only choose one phone, price is not a consideration, I'd obviously go for the XZ2. The camera's fantastic. Battery life is probably just as good, or if not better, than the P20 Pro. The display is better on the XZ2 than the OnePlus 6 and the P20 Pro. I think the OnePlus 6 and the P20 Pro are pretty much using the exact same AMOLED panel. It has better sound because it has external speakers. It has wireless charging if that's important to you. It's also water resistant, and it still has great software. So if I had to choose one, I would still choose the XZ2.
Gramado just adds he doesn't like the collar design of the OnePlus buds.
Oh, yeah. So I don't like neck buds. I'm reviewing them for people who do like neck buds, but me personally, I don't use them because when I'm at the gym and I'm bench pressing 495 million pounds, I don't want those neck buds falling off my neck. Because what happens is you lie back like this, and then they fall off, and then you get up, and then they're like twisted around your neck, and then you have to straighten them, and then put them back on your neck. Very frustrating. The solution to that is to wear them on the front, but then it just feels kind of messy. It just feels like you're wearing like a weird bib. So me personally, I prefer truly wireless earbuds, even though I lose a little bit of sound quality and battery life over neck buds. Unless I'm running. If I'm running, I don't mind neck buds.
Gabriel asks a quick question. Does the new Acer Predator Helios have a brighter screen? And if so, how many nits?
Yes. I don't know how many nits. My guess is around 300. But the biggest complaint last year was all the budget displays on gaming laptops. They had poor IPS panels, like getting around 64 to 65% sRGB. This year, we're seeing a big change. The Helios 300 is reported to have an sRGB rating of 96%. That's a big jump for that price point. So once I get my hands on it, I'm gonna make sure it has it. And if that's the case, it just makes budget gaming laptops that much more attractive. Because last year I said, if you're gonna buy this laptop and you're gonna do any graphical work or hook it up for video editing, you're gonna wanna use an external monitor just because the display is not that great. Plus, you're also getting a 144 Hz panel. So beautiful for gaming.
Simon asks, when is your next most anticipated phone of the year, and what is your next project you're working on? Big fan of your comparisons versus your other self. Keep it going.
Yes, I have one of those coming up probably in the next 2 weeks. It's going to be with one of these phones on the table against another phone that might not be on the table.
What's your most anticipated phone of the year?
My most anticipated phone of the year it used to be the Galaxy Note 9. But I've seen all the leaks. It doesn't look like it's going to be a huge upgrade, a lot of iterative changes. So it's definitely going to be the Pixel 3. I am super curious to see what Google is going to do. I think it's I'm probably the most excited about it out of any smartphone coming on the market from now until December. So definitely Pixel 3. How many people are in the conversation?
99.
Okay. Any news on the Asus Zenfone 5Z? Nope, no news. Which phone to buy right now? Jasker, that's a very, very general question. Depends on price, depends on what you want and what you value the most. If you can give me those 3 questions in the comments, I will help you find the perfect smartphone for you.
5 minutes to go.
Okay, we have 5 minutes to go. Lightning round, let's go. Boom, question after question.
Abdullah asks, how many people are there in your crew and can you name them?
Okay, this is a long list. Okay, so if you're writing this down, get your pen, get your paper. It's me and sometimes Ash when he's not busy. That's it. Just 2 of us. And my wife, she helps out maybe like once every 5 months. She'll like hold the camera and then yell at me. So that's basically it.
Namika asks, is the Surface Book 2016 worth it in 2018?
No, do not buy the Surface Book 2016. It was a cool concept for 2016, but it came with pretty weak internals. But the Surface Book 2 is a powerful, great machine. I use it a lot, actually.
Ayush asks, any old flagships you recommend still worth buying if the price falls?
So Pixel 2, not Pixel 2. Google, the original Pixel XL. You could probably get it for around 350 Canadian, so I'm guessing 250 US. Still a great phone, still runs beautifully. OnePlus 5T and the OnePlus 5 are also great options. Galaxy Note 8, and yeah, those are probably my recommends from last year.
Best $250 to $300 phone.
Oh man, those don't exist in Canada. $250 to $300 smartphones. I haven't reviewed any in 2018. That's the sad part. I've only reviewed flagships this year.
Terrible.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to have to get back to you on that. It's been a while since I've reviewed a budget smartphone.
S7 Edge still worth it.
No, do not buy an S7 Edge. It's slow. It's going to lag. You're going to have to reset it every 3 weeks. Buy a Note 8 or buy the S9 Plus. Those are the only Samsung devices you should be looking at.
Have you tested the Giant Smooth Q with the OnePlus 6?
I have not used the Smooth Q, but I do have the DJI version, the Osmo 2. I have not tested it yet.
Dell Inspiron 7577 versus Dell G5.
Dell G5? Which one's the Dell G5? Do you mean G7? Let me know if you mean the G7.
Can software really improve the overall quality of an image? Don't know what Google is doing with the Pixels.
Oh, 100%. And you can see that with every single phone we've tested. Huawei still has a lot of work to do with their software processing. It needs to be fine-tuned. Sony has gotten really good with their software processing. A year ago, a year before that, the software processing wasn't that great. But Google, hands down, is doing the best job with software processing. So whatever they're doing, they have like wizards in their studio just fine-tuning everything.
CJ asks, new features on phones have slowed down. Which brand do you think will come up with the next new feature that blows everyone's mind?
Oh man, so lately we've been seeing a lot of Chinese companies coming out with features that you would think bigger companies would come out with first. But if I had to put my money on anybody, it's going to be Apple or Samsung. Michael Whitty, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You're the man. Everyone shout out to Michael Whitty.
Eric asked, how old are you? You look old.
No, did not say that, Ash. Did not say I look old.
He said you look 50.
I look 50. Fuck you, oops, I'm not supposed to swear. Beep. I am not 50, okay? I'm 49. No, in all seriousness, I'm 37 years old.
Pixel 3 hopes?
I hope it's everything that I've dreamt of. I know that's very generalized. I just hope it has. So my biggest complaints was display. Actually, display, to be quite honest. I just wanted to have a great display. None of that LG crappy OLED stuff. I want a beautiful Samsung panel that's in the Galaxy S9 or the iPhone 10. That's what I want. And a better camera than before. Maybe dual camera setup.
Okay. Last one. Graphics card now or wait till the GTX 11 series?
Depends on your needs, man. Graphics card, if you can hold out, wait for the GTX 11, maybe you'll find some deals on the ones that are out right now. Just common sense, you know?
Okay, Mohit says you look sexy, bro.
Thank you, Mohit. I love the name. It's sexy. It's like mojito, but without the O, so you're sexy too. All right, so that pretty much wraps up this live stream. Before I go, let me know in the chat what you guys thought of this one. What do you want to see differently in the next one? Do you want me to bring on guests? Maybe have a conversation with them? Or do you want me to be more focused, just me and you guys, and that's it? So let me know your opinions right now. Then I'm going to close this up and do another one maybe in a couple of weeks. Let's see. Just got to wait 30 seconds. You guys are delayed from when I speak. Okay. Yes, yeah, sure. Thank you so much. Okay. The next, I'd like to see my question be answered. Sorry, Akshayan. Next time I will answer your question. Bit of both. Great bring guess, a bit of both. Bring done guess, alternate guess. I got big D guess. Try reading questions on your own. I don't know how to read. What you do for a living, guessed, lit, no problem. I like it a lot if you really answer a lot of questions and hope to see more often. Occasional guess, maybe this was pretty good. See you're in. Okay, so you guys liked it. And if there's anything you else want to get at me, hit me up on Twitter, Facebook. All my socials will be in the description down below. Stay tuned. Couple of videos coming out this weekend. Drop test, best smartphones of 2018. Bunch more coming next week. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you so much for being part of this channel. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. This is the awkward moment when I gotta extend across the screen to stop it.